Mr. Jeff Calcagni from the United States, who works as a real estate lawyer at Philadelphia. Mr. Jeff will take us through his journey of Sushumna Kriya Yoga practice.
I would like to begin by expressing my humblest gratitude to Sri 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 Bhoganath Sitar, and my humblest gratitude to Sri 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 Mahavatar Babaji, and my humblest gratitude to Sri 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 Aathmanandamayi Mataji. Om Sushumna. Welcome. Hello. I am Jeff Calcagni, and I'm from the United States. I am a Sushumna Kriya Yogi. And I realized this week that you are too, all of you. It's a wonderful thing. By the end of my brief talk, I think you'll understand why. I began this practice in July of 2021. A friend named Gopal introduced me to this practice. He did so by asking me to read a book called Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda. He then gave me the book as a gift. I don't know if you have this book or if you've heard of it, but if not, I do recommend that you go and buy it as soon as you can, read it, and give it to a friend. Now, a little bit about myself is that as a lawyer, I've been a practicing lawyer for 25 years. I have done hundreds of contracts, which means I spend most of my day reading and writing contracts. So if you were to hand me a book, I don't really want to read it. So what I did without telling Gopal was I immediately went to the internet, YouTube, and found that you can get Autobiography of a Yogi as an audiobook for free. So that's what I did. And every day I drive to work. It's 40 minutes there, it's 40 minutes back. I can listen to it. And I absolutely loved it. So I recommend you do the same if, like me, you don't like to read. When I got home at night, I had the book that Gopal gave me so I could open it up and review what I had listened to on my trip and catch the details that I had missed. It's really very wonderful. I'm sorry this is such a moment for me at the moment. I am going to try my best to remember what I intended to say after this point. As I was listening to Autobiography of a Yogi, the first thing that made me extremely excited is when Yogananda described Kriya Yoga. It's such a simple practice with such profound effects. So I immediately reached out to Gopal and said, Gopal, how am I going to learn this? And his reaction was great. He said, "This is a superb time, Jeff. We are in an auspicious time of Guru Purnima." It's an event that was about to occur. And he said, "We are hosting initiations." I think it was in the next week. So he said, "You're invited." I said, "Great." I went home and I talked to my wife. I talked to my mother. I talked to my sons. I asked them if they would go with me. And to my surprise, they all said yes. So I proceeded to Kalpana's house and was initiated. Now, the reason why I'm in front of you today is to share my experiences in Kriya Yoga. And the first experience I wanted to share is how simple it is and how accessible it is. You already know how simple it is. Within 5 to 10 minutes, you have learned Sushumna Kriya Yoga. That's it. It really is an amazing gift that it's that simple. It will take a lifetime for us to master, but we know how to practice it. Think about that. From an accessibility standpoint, because these are post-pandemic times, everything is on the internet. And the organization, Divya Babaji Sushumna Kriya Yoga Foundation, is on the internet. 2 times a day, you can meditate with hundreds of other practitioners. It's that easy. Now, if for whatever reason you cannot make any of those times, you still meditate on your own. It's that easy. It's a simple practice and it's accessible. My second experience is deeply personal and one that is painful for me to share because it's true. I'm 54, so I was initiated when I was 52. For the 32 years, starting with my college career and ending with initiation, I was the kind of person that felt that working during the day was me working for somebody else. And the evening, after 8 p.m., was the time that I could work for myself. I could squeeze out of the evening all the things that I couldn't do for myself during the day. So if I wanted to learn something, if I wanted to get entertainment, if I wanted to do stupid things, it would all be for me in that time frame. And that time frame, starting with 8 p.m., could go to 1 a.m., could go to 2 a.m., it could go to 3 a.m., and then I would wake up at 7:30 or 8 o'clock. So I thought I was squeezing more of life out of the night. And all I was doing was having the night squeeze more of life out of me. Why? Because I woke up fatigued. And when I came home from work, I was fatigued. But at work, surprisingly, I was absolutely fine. So what happened? Well, I suffered, and the people who loved me suffered as well. Why? Life has its ups and downs. We all know that. You have a family, you don't have a family, still you know that life goes up and down. When the times are up, it doesn't matter if you're doing yoga or not, we're all happy. But when the times are down, how you act, how you react, that's what defines you. So if you're fatigued, you can guess what happens. I'll tell you what happens. Here's an example. I'm a father. I have a son. My son's young. Picture him sitting on a chair, crying because he did something wrong. Picture me above him. I don't hit my son. I yell. I'm angry. I'm fatigued. I didn't have time to put up with it. And I'm yelling and he's crying. My words are like fists. Yes, I didn't hit him, but my words hit him. Now, the world has an interesting way of dealing with things like this, because that man grows older and that boy grows into a man. Now, if there was enough love there, they'll be okay. Sort of. Right? They go on. But that's not a good way to live life. Right? But I had an addiction to the night. Now, my miracle of Kriya Yoga is that it fixed that. You know, at 52, when you have a habit that's ingrained, you wonder if you can ever change that, even if you want to. But Kriya Yoga gave me that power. Within 2 to 3 months, do you know what happened? The breath was like rocket fuel. The energy that I felt helped me wake up earlier and earlier. And I started to go to bed earlier and earlier. So now I'm going to bed at 11. If I'm up past 11:10, I get nervous. And I wake up, believe it or not, at 4 a.m. every day. And when I wake up, I now have 3 hours between 4 and 7 that I never had before. And those 3 hours are absolutely precious. In one of those hours, I can do much more than I could have done in the other 7 that I was trying to take from the night. So, what happened? I became addicted to the day, to the morning. It was a shift of addiction. And it worked. And that's the miracle. That's my experience number 2. Experience number 3 is an interesting one, and I wanted to share it because it may be of importance to someone, or some of you. So the minute I was given this great practice, I started to practice. From the day I learned Kriya Yoga for you today, I practiced every single day. Why? You can see why. This is how it affects me. I love it. What am I going to not do? But so until today, I've practiced every single day. This is a discussion about experiences, and one experience that people talk about are inner visions. I had no inner visions in all of that time. I'm just sharing that with you so that you shouldn't feel alone if you're not having inner visions. It doesn't mean anything. What means something is that you practice Kriya Yoga, Sushumna Kriya Yoga. That's what means something. The visions come when you need the visions. If you don't need them, they don't come. It's as simple as that. It's not our decision. Our decision is to practice. Experience number 4. So, while I didn't have inner vision experiences, my whole outer vision, outer experience of life has radically changed, right? You take a guy that's fatigued at home in the morning and at home in the evening, and you give him rocket fuel in the morning, and you wake up with that guy, it's a whole new world, right? My family, my relationship with my family, my relationship with my children, my relationship with my friends, my coworkers, my relationship with this foundation. I cannot tell you how many family members have come into my life in this 1 week, being amongst all of you wonderful individuals. This is my 4th experience. So my 5th experience is this. When I think about Kriya Yoga, I think about the 5 fingers of my hand. You have the mudra, you have the amkara, you have breathing. You have the third eye meditation, And this fifth one is extremely important, as you've heard other people say. This fifth one is introspection. Now, where the breath acted like rocket fuel for me, the funny thing is that introspecting before I go to bed is almost like taking an Ambien. It makes me go to sleep. So I always wake up fretting that I didn't finish introspecting the evening before, and I introspect then. But it's that powerful. So what is it in my mind? If you think of the mind as a dog, you can think of introspection as a leash. So as you use introspection to really start to learn about yourself, you get control of that dog with the leash. So when you're in a situation, you'll start to understand when it might go the wrong way, before it goes the wrong way. And that's precious. It's just absolutely precious. And once that happens, you can truly surrender to Guru, because you need to surrender to Guru. So those are my 5 experiences. But it's not all that I want to tell you. Remember, I told you you're all Sushumna Kriya yogis. Well, you should know something. It doesn't matter how much money you have on this earth. It doesn't matter how rich you are, how many US dollars, how many dirham, how many rupees, how many yen you have. You cannot buy Sushumna Kriya Yoga. You can't yourself decide you want to go out and get it. It's not available. There's only one person who decides, one guru who decides that you can have it. She decided that you could be here today. That's why you're here today. You have been given this gift already. Think about that. It's already yours. The most precious thing on earth is already yours. All you have to do is accept the gift. Mangalam Nitya Shubha Mangalam.